here's what we're going to do. Because we've got roughly 45 minutes, what I'm going to ask each group to do is to pick the idea that you think is essentially most practical, and we'll start with that. I have also got the rapporteurs in the back. We will also want to collect the index cards, because what we're going to do is transcribe everything and make it available. I'll work with Eric and Chris to decide whether we're going to do that through Mepe or another mechanism. But we want to take everything, because clearly the conversations going on in the groups is the sort of thing, it was intense enough that it's not going to compress well. But I do want to get some, I want to go through each of the 7 groups and get an idea out with the kind of, here's the idea, here's why we think this is important. Let's start with the Design as R&D group. Who should present from you guys? Looks like they all just stepped back, so here you go. And go ahead and say your name as you, here you go.
Hi, I'm Linda. I'm with UNICEF, and we have 3 very good ideas, but since we only have time to present one, I'm going to go with the last one that was mentioned. And our idea is to have a universal icon language. So this sort of came from the idea, and we were looking also at the Facebook for Africa thing, and we were like saying, well, if we wanted to get Facebook on a cell phone, the amount of real estate that we're actually working with is really small. So we really thought that there should be a universal icon language that everybody understands, that everybody is able to use. And we were also very much thinking about accessibility and compatibility issues, and the universality of all the sort of different tasks and the simple tasks that we're doing. So our idea is universal language.
I'm sorry, can you just say a little bit more about how that, because we won't be able to pull those ideas up with Q&A, but can you say a little bit more about how you would go about doing that? What would be the first step, or what would be the, if someone wanted to start that project, how would they get started?
Well, I think for us, we all pretty much agreed, because our theme is design as R&D, that we would start with sketches, and that we would start with actually drawing and visualizing and sort of putting the ideas through visual representation on paper, and that would be our research and development process. Mm-hmm. And of course, because it's a language, it would be something that continues to evolve and change, and it would be a living product.
Great, great, okay. Thank you very much. The next group out, I don't know whether people are sitting where they were, but who was the group sitting here? Okay, great. Yeah, so here you go. You got it? Take it.
Okay, thanks. So same thing. We had lots of different ideas, and the conversation was kind of quite scattered and interesting. I think probably the one theme that came through, it was more like a theme, because education is so varied and because the contexts are so different. Urban youth in South Africa versus deep rural youth in Uganda, is to focus on localized applications that sit on a phone that don't need to be networked, and to look at the value in that. So look at games and have those apps shareable via Bluetooth or whatever between people within a particular village or community, but focus very much not necessarily on the network, but just local apps, and talk to providers or manufacturers like Nokia, and actually get them to pre-install some of these apps. So that is the theme. I've got to throw one last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So a really novel idea was that we were saying it's too expensive for many people to SMS each other, but there's so much you can do with that, especially the text-to-change project. So we could get people in the developed world, instead of sending money, they could donate text messages. So you could
that's nice.
donate 50 texts to some kid in Africa.
You'd have to keep it away from the minutes as money system.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you wanted it to be used for communications density, on the other hand, maybe fungibility is a good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is it would almost have to go to the cell phone company, because there are so many mobile payment systems now. So maybe if you deliver it in SMS currency, people could use it for either one,
exactly.
And then you'd see where the balance is.
Exactly.
That's really good.
Cool idea.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great.